Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Alex here.
Sup?
Last week for Mother's Day, I wanted to make my mom something special. Now, in the past, I've made cards and whatnot, but this year, I really wanted to try something new. Back in the day, my mom really liked to play Nintendo games, most notably Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. As a matter of fact, if you look at this old photo of me, you can just barely see an SNES controller just lying there in the background. So I thought it would be a cool idea to combine some of my past projects to put my mom in her very own little platformer game and have her play it on Mother's Day. And that's what I'm going to cover today. So I'm going to start off with an overview of my code for this game. Then I'll show off some gameplay. If you're not interested in code, then just skip to the timestamp on the screen now. Okay, let's talk about the code. I started this game about a week before Mother's Day, so I knew I wouldn't be going for any super optimized low-level programming. I figured I'd just write it as a browser game with JavaScript to get it out in the time that I gave myself. If you've seen some of my other videos, you might know that I recently created my own JavaScript game engine called Budgie, and that's exactly what I used to create this game. I started off by creating this player sprite right here on my first night of development. The player sprite here handles the collision by checking its horizontal and vertical velocities, and then calculating where it wants to go during the current frame, and then determining whether or not there's a ground sprite in its way. I hadn't written a collision system in a while, but I think I did a pretty good job of this one, apart from a few issues on corners. Everything else was pretty easy to write. Ground sprites don't really do anything besides sit there and look pretty. There's some sunflower seeds in place of coins like in Mario games, because my mom likes to garden. They sort of just disappear and play a cool little noise when you touch them. There's also an enemy sprite class that moves around in a path and then turns around, much like a Koopa Troopa. If you touch one of them, you get sent back to the beginning of the level. This wasn't that hard to code either. The ground collision was probably the most complicated part of coding. Positioning sprites and detecting overlap for enemies and coins was all handled by Budgie's API, so I'm really glad I decided to use that engine for this project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start up the game right here. The first step for starting up the game is to initialize this SNES USB controller driver that I wrote a little while ago. When I had my mom play the game, I actually connected my laptop up to our TV, and I had her use this same SNES controller with it. The next step is we want to go into the game folder and just run the Budgie open command. And here we go, we got the game. So we can move around, we can jump, and that's pretty much all the motion we have. So let's try and beat this level. These are the sunflower seeds I mentioned before, and here are the enemies. I want to make them technology focused because my mom has a saying that technology hates her, particularly whenever she has to use a printer, which I get it, those can be pretty irritating. And the little enemies will just sort of move around in a horizontal path until they reach the end, and they'll just turn around. I also gave them a bit of a sine wave to move up and down to, for a bit more dynamic motion. And again, if we touch one of them, we are sent back to the beginning. So it's a fairly short single level, but this was a pretty good difficulty challenge for my mom. And there we go. That's the end of the game. And that just about covers it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel. If there's a video topic you're interested in, leave it in the comments down below, and I might make a video on it sometime in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.